Some of the biggest stories of 2013 in the Coulee region were both tragic and uplifting. Tonight, News 8's James Bushman takes a look back at 10 of the most viewed stories on our website, news8000.com.
2013 started out on a sad note in the Coulee region. A 23-year-old UW lacrosse student was missing in February. After a day-long search, Neela Fry's body was found near railroad tracks in Alaska.
As soon as that moment hit, it's just like, it's like the ground just fell out beneath you.
She passed away from hypothermia, with alcohol as a contributing factor. But her memory lives on through her friends and a UWL scholarship in her name.
It was impossible not to smile when you were around her. So it was just something we really want to keep that spirit alive.
Move forward 4 months, and tragedy strikes near downtown. A fight at the Cass Street Quick Trip in June escalates as a man allegedly stabs DeMario Lee of lacrosse, who would later die from his injuries.
He had a heart, just a big heart. I mean, he used to always just hug me and kiss me, and I love you, Mom.
Mitchell Anderson of lacrosse is the accused stabber. He has a jury trial scheduled for next June.
It's just hard to believe something like that can happen so close to home.
In August, residents of an apartment complex on French Island are shocked to wake up to a murder-suicide investigation. 22-year-old Jesse Klukas killed his ex-girlfriend Dana Scheffelbein in his apartment with a sharp object before shooting himself in the head with a shotgun. Scheffelbein was 18 years old. The summer also gives us 2 reminders of the dangers of the Mississippi. First, in May, a houseboat loses power and goes over the Dresbach Dam with 11 people on board. They all make it to safety, but that wasn't the case 1 month later.
One diver did go in and found the deceased, the 22-year-old male, in not the top floor, but the second floor down.
Genoa resident Tyler Tresoni was trapped in a tugboat that capsized and went over the dam in July. Because of the river conditions, it takes rescue crews 9 hours to dive in the water and recover the body.
You hear the stories online or like on the news about how, in Boston, like the bombings and stuff like that, like, wow, like that's still a major event, but still it's weird to know that it hit here.
A UW lacrosse student brings a shotgun to campus in April and goes into a classroom. The gun was not loaded, and campus police arrested the student within 10 minutes of the call. Organic Valley is still rebuilding after this devastating fire at its headquarters in Lafarge. The May fire destroyed 1/3 of the building and damaged another third.
It doesn't entirely feel real. It just all happened so fast.
But all is not lost. A number of neighboring businesses opened their doors for office space. Organic Valley should have everything rebuilt in early 2014. She's not your typical rock star, but when someone posted this video in July of the so-called grandma drummer at Coalition Drum Shop in La Crosse on YouTube, she became a huge hit.
She's definitely been a musician for a while, you can tell. Her influences are definitely vintage.
She turned out to be 63-year-old Mary Vista of Onalaska, with a lengthy history of drumming.
It makes me proud to think people still think I'm somewhat good and still think I'm something they're interested in watching, you know?
And for the record, she's not actually a grandma. She never had kids of her own. And as we find a star, we lose a staple in the area. In early December, we learned the Carmike Theater near Valley View Mall in La Crosse would close its doors after more than 30 years of business. At least a dozen employees lost their jobs.
A lot of the people around the town saying that thank you to me.
Wazeeka Steuben sophomore Megan Klima and junior Selena Giddings helped save Friday Night Lights in September. Low numbers in the football program threatened to cancel the season. So the girls strapped on their football pads to join the team to save the Hornets' season.
Came down to it to where we weren't going to have a season, and I was still serious about being on the football team and said, hey, they still need players. I'm willing to play.
And finally, it could be one of the greatest love stories ever told. We met Elvin and Kathy of Winona back in November. Elvin was diagnosed with cancer, so with Kathy by his side, he went through treatments and had a promising prognosis, something he wanted to celebrate.
He got down on one knee, and he asked me if I would marry him, and I'm like, yes, absolutely, I would marry you.
But cancer is a fickle thing. His diagnosis would become terminal. But even the terrible disease could not put a stop to the two professing their love to each other.
I love Kathy, and she wanted to be with me, and she's just perfect. She takes care of me real perfect, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
In just a few hours, the hospital put together a ceremony for the two so they could become Elvin and Kathy Smothers.
Congratulations, you may kiss the bride.
Elvin passed away on November 27th at the young age of 37, but the lesson he taught all of us will live on forever.
I want to be here forever. And I guess nobody gets that, though. Nobody gets to be here forever, so.
Hi, Kathy.
All of these stories and many more from 2013 can be found on our website, news8000.com.